Phyllis trap set, Victoria's scheme and Claire's new tactic. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the coming 2 weeks, February 16th to February 27th, hint that Phyllis Summer's trap may soon be set while Victoria Newman spills a scheme and Claire Newman tries a new tactic. During the week of February 16th to 20th, Mariah Copeland will get out on bail, but she'll have to follow the judge's orders. That means wearing an ankle examiner and staying with Sharon Newman while Mariah awaits trial. Mariah will also pay Abby Winters and Devon Winters a visit to let them know how sorry she is, but remission surely isn't an option right now as far as Abby's concerned. Next, Victor Newman will play hardball with Kane Ashby and most likely contend the terms of their deal should remain in place. Kane isn't in control of Newman Enterprises presently, so Victor may push him to steal it back from Phyllis Ever if he wants Lily Winters and the halves to walk free. Kane will turn to Daniel Romalotti Jr. for help with an alliance while Billy Abbott hits a roadblock. Billy will face off with Jack Abbott during his first day at Chancellor, so we'll see how Jack might try to sabotage him for Nikki Newman's sake. Speaking of Nikki, she'll make a bold protestation about getting vengeance. Nikki will also have a tense commerce with Kane at the estate, so stay tuned for any harsh words she might deliver. In the meantime, Y&R spoilers say Victoria will move forward with a plan of her own, so look for her to unmask her scheme to Nate Hastings. Of course, Nate and Devon aren't in the circle on the dummy hijacking plot yet. The longer Lily stays off the grid, the more upset Devon and Nate are going to get. Victoria will ultimately hit Billy with the harsh reality of his situation, so Johnny Abbott and Katie Abbott may be in the circle on their pater's conduct by then. However, also that's commodity he'll have to deal with, if Victoria's right and the kiddies really are shocked with Billy. Billy might hope he can repair the damage with Katie and Johnny, but fixing effects may not be possible with Sally Spectra after they've another fight. Over with Nick Newman, his fentanyl use will come harder to conceal, especially from Sharon Newman after she catches him trying to hide the bag. After Abby and Dominic Winters bump into Mariah with Christine Blair Romalotti around city, Abby will establish some rules and make sure Mariah knows Dom is out limits. Meanwhile, Claire will try another tactic with Holden Novak. It turns out Claire will hope to trade information, so she may offer Lily intel if Holden will tell her the verity about what happened with Audra Charles and the art dealer. Claire might find out about Lily being in on the fake hijacking plot and consider discovering that word to Holden so he can pass it along to Kane. Anyhow, Claire will do everything in her power to find out exactly what went down in Los Angeles times ago. During the week of February 23rd to 27th, Phyllis could get lured into Kane's trap. Daniel may play a crucial part in Kane's plan if their alliance works out like he's hoping. Victoria and Billy's feud may also get worse while Jack considers teaming up with a familiar foe. Since Jack wants to help Nikki recapture control of Chancellor, he might actually be willing to join forces with Victor. There were some hints about Jack and Victor working together in 2026 exercise spoilers, so maybe they'll come a betters against Phyllis and Billy for a bit. That sounds like another way to rile Diane Jenkins Abbott over and make her feel like Jack's taking too numerous pitfalls for Nikki's sake. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the coming 2 weeks will bring some surprising news and sneaky moves, so stay tuned for updates on all the excitement. The coming 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless pledge to unravel like a tightly wound spring eventually snapping, with secrets surfacing, alliances shifting, and emotional landmines crumping across Genoa City. As February 16th through February 27th unfolds, every major family finds itself caught between fidelity and survival, and the lines between right and wrong blur in ways that feel sorrowfully mortal and dangerously unrecoverable. Phyllis Summers has no way been a woman who waits for fate to decide her fortune. She manipulates it. And this time, her trap is calculated, particular, and ruthless. After seizing control of Newman Enterprises in a move that left Victor reeling and Kane scrabbling, Phyllis believes she eventually holds the upper hand. But what she may not realize is that she's stepping into a larger game formally in stir. Kane Ashby, backed into a corner and hopeless to free Lily Winters and the halves from the fallout of the fake kidnapping chaos, knows he can't outmuscle Victor or outthink Phyllis alone. So he does the unanticipated. He recruits Daniel Romalotti Jr., appealing not just to business ambition but to family fidelity and wounded pride. Daniel, still scuffling with his complicated relationship with his mama, finds himself torn. Helping Kane could mean saving innocent lives. But it also means betraying Phyllis in a way that could permanently fracture their bond. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland's release on bail sends emotional shockwaves through the Winters and Newman families. Ordered by the judge to wear an ankle examiner and live under Sharon Newman's supervision, Mariah returns home not triumphant, but lowered and shaken. The weight of public scrutiny and private guilt presses heavily on her. When she seeks out Abby Winters and Devon Winters to apologize, the meeting is raw and unstinting. Abby's heartache over Dominic's involvement leaves no room for remission. Her defensive instincts are sharper than ever, especially when she latterly runs into Mariah in City alongside Christine Blair Romalotti. Abby wastes no time establishing establishment boundaries. Dominic is out limits. No visits. No calls. No exceptions. The communication is clear. Trust, formally shattered, doesn't fluently mend. At the Newman estate, Victor plays hardball with Kane. Ever the strategist, Victor insists the original terms of their deal remain intact. However, he must reclaim Newman Enterprises from Phyllis, if Kane wants his family safe and free. Victor's station is chilling in its simplicity. Results matter. Defenses do'n't. Kane understands the recrimination. Failure isn't an option. Yet stealing back a pot from someone as cunning as Phyllis requires finesse, abettors, and impeccable timing. Victoria Newman, no way one to sit idle while chaos beverages, advances a scheme of her own. She confides in Nate Hastings, precisely revealing just enough to secure his support without exposing the entire compass of the deception girding Lily's offered exposure. Nate, formerly uneasy about the secretiveness clouding recent events, listens with growing concern. Devon, too, senses that commodity is amiss as Lily remains unobtainable. The longer she stays off the grid, the further dubitation. Pustules. Victoria's plan hinges on controlling the narrative, both within her family and in the boardroom. Billy Abbott's first day back at Chancellor Diligence snappily devolves into battle when Jack Abbott makes it clear he's watching nearly. Jack, motivated by his fidelity to Nikki Newman and his belief that Billy's freakishness threatens stability, refuses to make effects easy. Their clash is concentrated with times of contest, resentment, and reticent fraternal concern. Billy insists he's changed, that he can lead responsibly. But Victoria latterly delivers a harsh cure of reality. Johnny and Katie are deeply affected by his recent behavior. However, their disappointment could cut deeper than any commercial reversal, if Victoria is right. Billy faces the painful possibility that his particular mistakes have eroded his children's faith in him. Adding energy to Billy's fermentation is another explosive argument with Sally Spectra. What began as passion now feels decreasingly unpredictable. Sally, tired of being contributory damage in Billy's battles, questions whether she can continue supporting a man constantly at war with himself and the world. Repairing his relationship with his children may prove delicate. Repairing his bond with Sally could be insolvable. Away, Nick Newman's secret gyrations closer to exposure. His reliance on fentanyl, originally accounted as a temporary escape from stress, becomes harder to conceal. Sharon grows suspicious when she catches him trying to hide a small bag. Her concern snappily morphs into alarm. Nick insists he has it under control, but Sharon sees the familiar signs of denial. The pressure between them thickens, concentrated with fear, love, and the haunting possibility of relapse into destructive patterns. Claire Newman, meanwhile, adopts a bold new tactic in her pursuit of the verity about what happened in Los Angeles months ago. Convinced that Holden Novak knows further than his saying, particularly regarding Audra Charles and a mysterious art dealer, Claire proposes a trade. Information for information. She hints that Lily may have been complicit in the fake kidnapping plot, a disclosure that could shake Kane's trust to its core if passed along. Claire's adventure is risky, however. She could alienate both Holden and Lily if she miscalculates. But tolerance has no way yielded answers, and Claire is done waiting. As the timetable flips to the week of February 23rd, Phyllis may find herself entangled in Kane's precisely constructed counter-trap. Daniel's involvement proves vital. By using bigwig knowledge and exploiting Phyllis' confidence in him, Kane orchestrates an initiative designed to bait her into overreaching her power. Phyllis thrives on battle, but overconfidence could be her death. The boardroom becomes a battleground where every rumored discussion and delayed dispatch carries strategic weight. Contemporaneously, Victoria and Billy's feud intensifies. Their co-parenting arrangement strains under collective mistrust. Victoria questions Billy's judgment. Billy accuses Victoria of manipulation. The children remain the silent casualties of adult warfare. Jack, observing the raising conflict, contemplates an unbelievable alliance with Victor. The idea of joining forces with his longtime adversary would formerly have sounded insolvable. Yet reclaiming Chancellor and stabilizing Nikki's position may demand exactly that. Hints of a temporary armistice between Jack and Victor shoot ripples through Genoa City. However, indeed compactly, the balance of power could shift dramatically if these two elephants unite. Diane Jenkins Abbott senses the counter-accusations incontinently. Jack aligning with Victor, especially for Nikki's sake, awakens precariousness Diane allowed. She'd conquered. She worries that Jack's defensive instincts toward his ex-wife may blur boundaries. Her frustration simmers, hanging to enkindle connubial disharmony just as external pitfalls impend. Throughout it all, Nikki's oath of revenge hangs in the air like a storm pall. Her tense exchange with Kane at the estate underscores her resoluteness. She refuses to be sidelined in the battle for Chancellor's future. Nikki's strength has always been undervalued. Now, she intends to remind everyone why that's a mistake. By the end of February, Genoa City stands converted by exposures and reversals. Phyllis' trap and Kane's counterpunch collide in a spectacle of commercial warfare. Victoria's scheme edges near to exposure. Claire elevation nearer to the verity. Mariah confronts the slow, painful path toward redemption. Nick faces the consequences of secretiveness. And Jack contemplates an alliance that could review decades of contest. In true youthful and the restless fashion, no palm is clean, no treason simple, and no love untouched by conflict. The coming weeks promise not just dramatic twists, but deeply mortal reckonings where pride clashes with vulnerability, ambition wrestles with heart, and every character must decide how far they are willing to go to cover what matters most. As the pressure in the young and the restless deepens through the final days of February, the emotional stakes rise far beyond boardroom maneuvering and rumored alliances. What began as a power struggle over pots and control sluggishly transforms into commodity more intimate, an examination of fidelity, identity, and the particular cost of ambition. Phyllis Summers has always believed that survival belongs to the bold. Sitting alone in her suite late one evening, she reviews protrusions, contracts, and non-public memos with a measured calm that masks the storm around her. She knows Kane is conniving. She knows Victor no way truly retreats. And yet, she feels insurmountable. Taking Newman Enterprises wasn't just a business move, it was a protestation. For times, she has been undervalued, dismissed as reckless or exorbitantly emotional. Now she holds influence over the most important family in Genoa City. The irony isn't lost on her. But Daniel's recent distance unsettles her. Subtle at first, shorter replies, missed calls, vague solace, it grows more conspicuous by the day. Daniel tells himself he's guarding innocent people. He rationalizes his alliance with Kane as a necessary wrong. Still, when he sees his mama's trust in him, it cuts deep. Kane presses him gently but persistently. This isn't about vengeance, Kane insists. It's about getting my family back. Daniel wants to believe that. He needs to believe that. Meanwhile, at the Newman estate, Victor's countenance is imperturbable. He watches events unfold like a chess grandmaster anticipating ineluctable moves. Victoria's independent maneuvering doesn't escape his notice. She's inherited further than just his business instincts. She's espoused his amenability to immolate connections for strategic advantage. When she updates him, precisely, on her discussion with Nate, Victor offers minimum response. But inwardly, he calculates how her scheme fits into his broader ideal. He may allow his children to believe they're acting autonomously, but Victor Newman infrequently relinquishes true control. Nate Hastings finds himself in a moral Argentine area. His fidelity to Victoria is genuine, but so is his concern for Devon and Lily. The longer Lily remains absent under the guise of extremity, the further Nate questions whether the deception is twisting beyond its intended compass. He confides some of his apprehension to Devon, careful not to reveal too important. Devon's frustration simmers just beneath the face. He senses that pieces of the story do interline, and his defensive instincts toward Lily edge his dubitation. The possibility that his being kept in the dark injures him more than the commercial counter-accusations. Abby Winters, still reeling from Mariah's involvement in Dominic's fire, channels her energy into Alert. Her hassle with Mariah in City leaves her shaken. Though Mariah's reasons sounded sincere, Abby's trust has been fractured. Latterly, alone with Devon, she admits that remission may come one day, but not now. Not when her child's safety was jeopardized. Devon supports her intimately, though intimately he wrestles with compassion for Mariah's apparent guilt. Back at Sharon's house, Mariah struggles with the suffocating weight of confinement. The ankle examiner is a constant memorial of her fall from grace. Sharon offers steady support, measured, case, and unwavering. Yet indeed Sharon cannot shield her son from tone mistrustfulness. Mariah renewals her choices constantly, searching for the moment when she could have turned back. Remedy sessions come an outlet for defying not only legal consequences but the deeper emotional void that drove her conduct. Across City, Nick's battle intensifies. Sharon's discovery of the concealed fentanyl shifts their dynamic incontinently. She confronts him not with wrathfulness, but with fear. Nick insists he can manage it, that it's temporary. But Sharon has witnessed dependence as subtle grip ahead. Her claim is clear: seek help or threat losing everything. Nick bristles at the recrimination, pride colliding with vulnerability. Alone latterly, he gapes at the small bag in his hand, the weight of denial heavier than the substance itself. Billy Abbott's attempt to reclaim stability falters snappily. His battle with Jack at Chancellor exposes old injuries. Jack's dubitation isn't entirely embedded in contest. Part of him authentically fears Billy's freakishness could unravel Nikki's hard-earned progress. Victoria's disclosure that Johnny and Katie feel unsettled by Billy's recent choices strikes him hardest. He tries to reach out to them, arranging a quiet regale meant to bridge the emotional gap. The discussion is awkward but honest. Johnny asks delicate questions about responsibility and trust. Katie's silence speaks volumes. Billy leaves the evening both hopeful and lowered. Sally Spectra watches Billy's fermentation with mixed feelings. She wants to be probative, yet she's sick of being pulled into cycles of chaos. Their rearmost argument stems from her feeling sidelined. "I can't keep contending with your battles," she tells him. Billy, protective at first, ultimately softens. But justifications may not be enough. Sally has learned to cover her own heart. Claire Newman continues her pursuit of verity with calculated perfection. Her meeting with Holden Novak is charged with implied pressure. She proposes the exchange precisely Lily's implicit involvement in the fake kidnapping for details about Audra Charles and the art dealer in Los Angeles. Holden hesitates, trusting Claire could expose him. Yet the pledge of clarity tempts him. The riddle girding Los Angeles has dallied too long. Claire's determination signals that she won't abandon the hunt. As rumors swirl, Audra Charles maintains her poised surface. She denies wrongdoing convincingly, but whispers persist. The art dealer's name resurfaces in hushed exchanges. Claire senses that every disclosure leads to another concealed subcast. By the time the week of February 23 begins, Kane's countertrap edges near to prosecution. Daniel secures access to critical fiscal documents under the guise of routine review. Phyllis notices irregularities but attributes them to transitional chaos. Kane orchestrates a strategic leak designed to destabilize Phyllis' confidence and prompt a guard overreach. The move works, incompletely. Phyllis doubles down, initiating a bold public statement asserting her unshakable leadership. Victor observes with quiet blessing. Conflict among adversaries serves his long-term docket. Yet he remains conservative. Phyllis has survived worse storms. Jack's contemplation of aligning with Victor becomes reality in a discreet meeting. The atmosphere is tense but realistic. Old grievances are conceded but set aside temporarily. Their participated ideal, restoring stability and fighting Phyllis' ascendance, creates doubtful common ground. The alliance is fragile, erected on necessity rather than trust. Diane Jenkins Abbott senses the shift incontinently. She questions Jack directly. "Are you doing this for business?" she asks, "or for Nikki?" Jack insists it's strategic, but Diane's precariousness resurfaces. Nikki, fueled by determination, refuses to remain an unresistant devotee of Jack's sweats. She meets with crucial stakeholders, reminding them of her leadership history and adaptability. Her oath of revenge isn't reckless, it's measured, concentrated, and deeply particular.